I'm Joanna Small, the Public Information Officer for the Commerce City Police Department. It's Monday, May 27th, and we hope you have a very happy Memorial Day. Thank you to the service members who made the ultimate sacrifice to ensure that we live freely every day. These are your holiday weekend high or low lights, depending on how you look at it. It's essentially our video blotter where we give you a rundown of the most significant incidents your CCPD patrol officers responded to over the weekend. But we do like to start off with a few fast facts. We answered 450 calls for service and made 58 traffic stops just on Saturday and Sunday. Now here are those highlights in chronological order. Very early Friday morning, officers were sent to a disturbance at an apartment complex on East 60th Avenue. When they arrived, they found a broken window on the unit in question and could hear an altercation inside. Officers were familiar with this unit and asked dispatch to run the occupant's boyfriend's name through law enforcement databases. He had 7 warrants for his arrest, to include a violent felony assault. The suspect refused to exit the apartment and told officers to shoot him. He finally did agree to come out, but then pulled his pants down and exposed himself. He was taken into custody, and it was learned he also had 4 active protection orders. He's now facing nearly a dozen charges, including resisting arrest, refusal to leave a premise, domestic violence, criminal mischief, and protection order violations. Also on Friday morning, officers responded to a road rage incident on I-270 and Highway 85 in which 2 women stated a man in a truck pointed a gun at them. The victims got a vehicle plate, and officers were able to contact the registered owner, who admitted to getting into a road rage altercation but denied brandishing a firearm. This case is under investigation. And again on Friday morning, we warn you regularly that we patrol our 4 high-hazard traffic zones aggressively, and yet we stopped a driver for speeding between 25 and 39 over on Highway 2. That's when we learned he had a revoked driver's license, expired plates, and both misdemeanor and felony warrants. He was jailed on those warrants and will also receive a number of traffic citations. Also on Friday, officers were sent to the 6900 block of East 75th for a woman who was asleep inside a parked vehicle. When we got there, we discovered the vehicle had a punched driver's side door lock and no front license plate. When the woman in the passenger seat, who was the sole occupant, saw police officers, she attempted to get into the driver's seat. We used a tire deflation device to prevent her from fleeing. The suspect told us she knew the owner of the vehicle but took it without permission. She also had drug paraphernalia inside the vehicle in plain sight. She's now facing charges for the paraphernalia and third-degree motor vehicle theft. On Saturday morning, officers found a DUI driver asleep behind the wheel on Highway 85. We used tire flattening devices before rousing the driver, who then drove over them and tried to drive off. He didn't get far, and we eventually arrested the driver around Highway 2 and Rosemary. He is now facing DUI, eluding, and reckless driving charges. On Saturday, officers responded to what turned out to be a rather bizarre DUI and vehicular assault in the 8400 block of Roslyn. At first, we were told that the injured man simply fell, but investigation determined he was hit by a car driven by his friend, who then admitted to the crime. The victim sustained serious bodily injury, and the suspect was intoxicated. The suspect is now facing DUI and vehicular assault charges. His vehicle was impounded. We had numerous DUIs, egregious and reckless driving stops, and accidents all weekend long. Overnight Saturday into Sunday, officers were sent to a possible trespass in the 7200 block of East 73rd. When we arrived, there was a pickup truck with flashing red and blue police lights and a man in a bulletproof vest. He told officers the trespassing occurred at a family member's house, so he came to see what was going on. The suspect turned on his lights when he got to the scene and demanded identification from the alleged trespassers. However, he was the one who was arrested and is now facing impersonating a peace officer charges. Finally, this morning during the Commerce City Memorial Day Parade, which, by the way, was well attended and a lot of fun, a driver drove around a barrier and started to drive the wrong way on the route. We stopped him almost immediately and found him to be intoxicated with a gun next to him on the driver's seat. He offered our officers a monetary bribe to let him go, which we did not accept. He's facing DUI, careless driving, bribery, and prohibited use of a weapon charges for being in possession of the gun while under the influence. That's all for now. Have a safer week, Commerce City, and remember, if you need us, we are always just minutes away.